Welcome back and welcome to another tag video. I knew that this tag had been around for a while, but I didn't do it when I first started my channel, so I thought, why not do it now? So this is the BookTube Newbie Tag. Now obviously I've had this channel for around about 9 months now, so I think my intro video went up in July because I think I filmed it before I moved to Denver because it's in front of my old bookcase, but I thought, well, I'm still a BookTube newbie. I'm still kind of new at this and trying to figure things out, so I will do the BookTube Newbie Tag now. I saw this book on Lauren's Daydreamers. I will link her channel below. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but she's a booktuber that I've been following for a while now. So I saw her do it about 2 years ago, and obviously I didn't have a booktube channel then, and so I decided that I would do it now. So I have my questions in my little gold book as always. So number one is, why did you start this channel? As you know, I've had my book blog, my own book blog, for just over 4 years now, and I was contributing to someone else's blog for about a year before that. I did reviews every week on her blog, and so it was just time to start it. I didn't have time to do it before. Then I moved to Denver. I had the time to do it. I had the kind of facilities to do it, and you know, I want to talk about all the books. I've always followed booktubers on YouTube. They're kind of really the only videos I watch on a regular basis, and so that's, yeah, it's the next step. I really enjoy my blog, and being able to talk about books and show you the books and kind of do it in a more interactive way than on a blog, like I do on Twitter and like I do on Instagram, seemed like the perfect next step. Question 2, what are some fun and unique things that you can bring to BookTube? Well, I mean, I think that my reading taste is quite different from quite a lot of other people. As you know from the channel and my blog and my Twitter and my Instagram, I read young adult contemporary fiction. I read a little bit of middle grade fiction. That's kind of a byproduct of me being a teacher. I read a little bit of kind of psychological thriller. I read women's fiction. I read non-fiction. I read travel books. I read memoirs. So, you know, I think that that's kind of my unique thing that I can bring to BookTube, because I do talk about a wide range of books. I also think that, I've mentioned this before, obviously I am a teacher, so me kind of like sitting here and talking to you is very much the way I would teach, except probably a little bit things on here are a little bit slowed down because, you know, you're generally adults and not 10 and 11-year-olds. Question 3, what are you most excited for? I think some of the videos that I've really enjoyed doing have been the ones that have been a little bit different. The ones where I'm talking about readathons, I'm talking about what I've read, and also tag videos like this one. I really enjoyed doing the audiobook tag. I will leave a link to that. I'll put a card up here for that one. But fun videos like that. I mean, I love making book talks, and I love being able to talk passionately about books that I felt passionate about when I've read them. But things where, you know, there are questions and set things to do, and readathons with set challenges, it's always quite interesting finding the book or finding the answer that matches that challenge. So I think that's kind of what I've been most excited about so far, and what I'm kind of excited about making videos in the future as well. Question 4, why do you love reading? Why does anybody love reading? Reading's just amazing. You discover, like, I still learn so much from the books that I read. I learn about different places. I learn different facts about people and the way people work. I make new friends from reading because these characters that I read are amazing. I, you know, can escape for a little bit. Sometimes when a book grabs you, you escape, and before you know it, it's the end of the day, and it's crazy. I mean, you know, reading is unique to each individual. You know, these escapism, everybody escapes to a different world. Everyone pictures a character differently, and I love that it is so unique and it's so what you make it. And you know, you're watching a BookTube video, you'll love reading too, so I don't need to tell you. Question 5, what book or series got you into reading? So I think that my reading kind of had a few different stages. When I was in primary school, I loved reading. I was always very good at reading, and so I was given some books at, you know, the higher level when I was like 9 and 10, and some of them were really boring. It was that stage where it was like, oh, you're reading at a higher level, so you must read this non-fiction book about caves, or you must read this classic, and it just wasn't grabbing my interest. So I'd been so into reading, and then I discovered Judy Blume, and I remember going away on holiday with my parents for 2 weeks and reading everything Judy Blume had written. We had to find, you know, wherever we were, we had to find a bookshop so that I could find a new Judy Blume novel. I read like 13 books that holiday, and that kind of got me back into, yes, there are books out there that I can read that are enjoyable but are also at a slightly higher level. Then I went to secondary school. The whole newness of secondary school and the fact that I hated secondary school kind of got me out of the way of reading. And then someone lent me their copy of Bridget Jones' Diary, and I was like, yes please, I will have more of this. And I was lucky that I could read the next one straight after it as well, and that kind of got me into like women's fiction. And this was when I was probably about 13. Then GCSEs and A-levels came along, and I was really only reading in the summer holidays, and that kind of goes for university as well, but obviously university summer holidays are longer, so there is more time to read. And then my dad got me a copy of Secret Dream World of a Shopaholic, and that got me into Sophie Kinsella. Again, there was just that one book out, so I had to wait for the next one to come out. That got me into Sophie Kinsella, reminded me why I kind of loved women's fiction, and got me back into reading again proper. And that's kind of the start of the reading period that I've been in now, which is probably like what, the past 14-15 years. And so yeah, my different stages of reading have got marked by very kind of different books, but I always loved reading, and there was just things that kind of got in the way or got me stuck at certain points, and so that's why there was different evolutions to my reading stages. I'd be interested to hear in the comments if you experienced anything similar to that, things that got in the way and kind of books that gave you a breakthrough between not reading and reading, or reading less and reading more, because I've heard quite a few people have this same kind of issue, and I just wonder if they've had the same number of kind of revolutions as I have. Question 6, what questions would you ask your favourite booktuber? I mean, I don't have one specific favourite booktuber. There's lots and lots of different booktubers that I watch. I subscribe, if I'm going to watch somebody regularly, I subscribe to them, so I go through my subscription feed. If it's a particularly busy time, I add them to watch later, and then I've got a whole watch later playlist when I've got an hour or two to spare here or there, when I'm between books, obviously. But I think the question that I would ask of any sort of more experienced booktubers is, am I doing a good job? Am I doing an okay job at this? Obviously, I've got experience in blogging and talking about books. I've got experience talking about books with children and adults at school, but this whole talking about books with the BookTube community, am I doing okay? And question number 7, what challenges do you think starting a BookTube channel will be hardest to overcome? Now, obviously, as I said, I've had this channel some time, not quite a year, but I think the hardest thing is There are so many amazing books I want to talk about, and also so many amazing books I want to read. So it's that balance between making lots of videos, reading lots of books. Sometimes when I'm reading, I don't have time to make the video. And sometimes when I'm making lots and lots of videos, I'm like, oh, I haven't had time to read that book and I want to talk about it. And the kind of part B to that is that I'm like, I want to make a book talk about this book. I want to make a book talk about this book. I want to make a book talk about this book. And obviously I'm not going to bombard you with videos every single day. And so it's kind of like all the books are amazing and I want to talk about them all. I can't put out videos all the time, but I need time to read the books and time to make the videos. So I think that's probably the hardest challenge to overcome. I'm used to talking to people. I'm used to talking to small, large audiences of children, adults, like this. Sitting in front of the camera and talking has never been an issue. So that's, I think, a lot of people struggle with. But for me, it's all the books. There's so many good books, so little time to read them and talk about them and make videos about them. That's why I love like TBRs and wrap-up videos, because I get the chance to kind of show the books that I wouldn't necessarily make a book talk about, or I have made a book talk about but there's not been a space on the channel to kind of put it out there, so I get to showcase it even though I've not done so in a whole video yet. So yeah, it's quite interesting kind of analysing different parts about this channel, about my reading and my blogging and my vlogging process. So I really enjoyed doing this tag. Obviously, if you are new to YouTube, BookTube, then feel free to do this tag. I'm not going to tag anyone in particular. And if you've got any comments on the things that I said or the questions, then please do leave me comments below. I love getting comments and having a chat with people in the comment box. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I would love to have you on board if you would like to click that subscribe button. I will have another video for you on Friday. I don't know what it's going to be about yet because I've got so many books I want to talk to you about. It might be a book talk, it might be a book film comparison because I've been working on my notes for doing those. I really enjoy those videos as well, I forgot to mention that. Okay, I will see you on Friday with a new video. Bye!